very, very, very right one day. But Bubba Wallace, who is the guy? The guy is a race car driver. I'm pretty sure you heard NASCAR. And he basically came out and said that he found a noose. He found a noose tied up on his on his on his car, and it was basically became a big scandal. Here you guys, I see you have any comments, just write it in the thing. And Melville says, Bubba, right? I'm sorry, it sounds fake. And you know what? So we have this thing in our country where it's called white guilt, right? There's a whole bunch of people out there who are, and we're just gonna go in the order that is not the order that I thought, but whatever. So the thing is interesting, right? He's the only black. Oh, let me go back to him. He's the only black NASCAR driver, right? And this guy has basically come out and said, "Oh, we shouldn't have people flying the Confederate flag over at the. We should never have the Confederate flag flying because, that's racist." Okay, whatever. If you think so. And then what happened is that then a couple of days later, I guess somebody went into the garage and saw that there was a noose, quote unquote noose. I mean, we still don't have the pictures yet, but there was a noose around the guy's not the guy's neck, but there was a noose inside of his garage. Like someone had placed that there. And what was the implication? The thing is that, oh, well, if there's a noose there, somebody is trying to get at him for wanting to do the whole thing with with the Black Lives Matter and the Confederacy and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty interesting there. And so what happened is that somebody, I guess in the crew or somebody came and reported it to NASCAR, and then they went on a whole big, hey, this is, racism is unacceptable and blah 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 and this and that. And my initial reaction to it was basically based on what happened with Jussie Smollett, however you pronounce his name. This guy said that two people came down, yelled in Chicago on the whatever, Chicago, it was very, very cold or whatever. And he said that people came down and basically said, this is MAGA country. And went through, and dude was just like, hey, this is MAGA country. There's so much racism in society, in the world. So yeah, that was it was interesting. And how can this thing actually happen in America today? I just it seems pretty far. It just seems crazy. But there's this thing out there called white guilt, and if you're just new to the podcast, we talked about that before. But the idea is that white people have something to owe to society. So the idea is that because of this implicit bias that people have of white people in NASCAR and in general, right, that somebody actually went out to Jussie Smollett and actually beat him up and said, this is MAGA country, right? And then of course that drew in all of the Trump supporters, and so all of a sudden now all of these Trump supporters are racist. And the story just didn't add up. It just did not add up at all. But that's what the media wanted to do. And so Medville, so let me get this straight. Someone broke into his garage, saw his car with BLM, and did not deface it. Did not steal any of the tools, just left a noose. I did not think of it like that. Yeah, I mean, it just seems very, very unlikely. So I don't know a lot about NASCAR. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I mean, I like cycling and I like motorcycling, so that's my biggest thing right there. So I'm not a good thing about the whole NASCAR stuff. So I was like, well, I mean, maybe this is possible, but I didn't want to jump out at it too soon. And did the media jump out at it, saying that this guy was racist? Not racist, but that NASCAR is racist, and that all these people, all these white people are racist. And just because NASCAR only has one African American driver on it, it's supposed to mean that NASCAR itself is racist. And the America that I live in, at least, I don't know that to be a racist type of country, but that's what people, that's what people want to believe, and that's what people have instinctively. They have instinctively this notion. So yeah, it sounded fake to me too. I was like, how is this guy gonna just gonna play out? But that was the problem. The problem was that everybody assumed that the media narrative was correct. And that is the problem with our society today, is that we want to believe, a lot of us, I think that's driven by the media, we want to believe that America is racist. We want to believe because not only is America racist, but it's systematically racist, right? And systematically racist means that there is racism everywhere that is embedded in our society, not because of anything that we do as African Americans, but it's just out there. And so when we see a noose inside of the garage of the only African American NASCAR driver, we want to automatically assume that it's what? Racism. That is racist. That a racist person did it. Which to me is a very, very racist way of looking at the world. So Antonio says, who said NASCAR was racist? Good question. That might be my own bias up in there. But the media does want to push the agenda that NASCAR is racist. So let's just go and look, just randomly, just gonna go look at some of these articles that people were basically trying to say, because they want to claim that NASCAR is racist. So if I go to say NASCAR is racist, is NASCAR racist? The agenda of lots of people in this country is to show that America is. Hey, Heavy Fisted. If you like this channel, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, as well as Facebook and other places under @NeoAdventist. So let's just go see one of these articles here. NASCAR failed to fight racism for 72 years. Okay. I think that's look at this. Don't praise his support of Bob Wallace yet, right? So this was the image, right? This was the thing that people were promoting, was that for some reason NASCAR is racist, that NASCAR failed to fight racism, that NASCAR is a sport that is, you know, dominated by white people, and which I think is sad. I think it's sad how people jump to those kinds of conclusions. So let's see what Ms. Johnson says here. She says, I think we tend to generalize way too much. Thing like this were true, it would still be irresponsible generalizing the entire sport participators as racist. I couldn't say it better myself. But why do we have this? How can you just generalize an entire sport like that? I mean, so look, so he says, failing to fight racism isn't saying they are racist. Okay, that's interesting perspective. Maybe let's actually read the article. If NASCAR, let's see what it says here. Seems like it changes based on how far you zoom in. If NASCAR had been so keen on taking a path of least resistance in its past, its only black driver wouldn't have been forced down his hard road. Okay, what is the thing here? Let's see. So Talladega, whatever, however you say this word, is, I guess, is a thing here. Let's see what is going on there. Let's see. So NASCAR, I guess, has a very racist history. For the sport, Wallace came. Okay, when an army of solo drivers escorted his to the front of the grid, that recalled the blah blah blah. Powerful moment, right? If America was a racist country, would America do this? And would America's most racist sport do something like this? I mean, if America was really a racist country, would that be a thing? Right? To me, it seems like the media bias here towards people like Jussie Smollett and, you know, Bubba Wallace are causing this types of anger and resentment and things to help out. So what's the spectacle here? So the spectacle, right? If NASA had reckoned with this race problem while Wendell Scott was still driving. Okay, so then it goes into this whole history of this. I don't know what it is, but the fact of the matter is, to me, is that it seems like America would not do something like this, right? America would not take all of those people and they walk down that thing all of a sudden like that if the sport was racist. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I don't really care that much about, you know, NASCAR, but I do care, like Barbara said, about generalizing the entire sport based on race like that. I think it's shameful, and I think that people really need to wake up for that. Let's see. So Confederate flags are racist, apparently. I don't know if I should get into that now, but I guess there's just a lot of things out there. So Heavy Fisted Point put an article about this. Let's see here. And what's really interesting to me is like all of the virtue signaling that happens here. Okay, yeah, he did take a picture. I guess I could kind of see that. And this is the Washington Post, because you know how. As the news was most said, all the racing has always been so welcoming. This is not his first incident. Incident of what? This is what his mom says on the Joe Madison's show. If he gets into an incident with another driver, they're quick to throw out the N-word. He's been told he doesn't belong. We've all been through that. So he's been racing since he was 9. He made it up to the top. Okay, so look, I mean, look at that. You got all of the NASCAR people here. Okay. Well, there are racist people. Okay, so look at what he says here. What there are racist people and non-racist people. Just because non-racist people do things doesn't mean that the racist people don't exist. Okay, man, you're gonna have to. Yeah, everybody knows that racist people exist. That's pretty obvious. The question is America itself racist, and is all of the institutions racist? And if it is all racist, then that sort of means that it's irrevocably racist, that you can't get out of that. Let me see what the people on YouTube is saying. Okay, we got some quiet people on there, no problem. But to me the problem is one of just systematic white guilt. I mean, white people feel very, very bad because there are a few racists out there, and historically America has been a very systematic racist country. That's undeniable. But the question today, and it's the question I keep on asking anybody, show me an example of systematic racism, right? And then so people want to point to this as an example of how, America's most, whitest sport is racist. And look at the guy. I mean, okay, yeah, I guess he did feel sad. I don't know if he, unlike Jussie Smollett, who actually made up that there was people, that he was choked and got a noose around his neck and all this kind of stuff. And that they yelled, what they yell? MAGA country. Right? I don't know if the South Side of Chicago is MAGA country. I wouldn't put it exactly like that. But it's sad, man, and it's sad that people have to go through this kind of thing, and that we have to keep repeating this every single time. It's sad. It's sad and it's ridiculous, and I don't know why we keep falling for it. I gotta admit, I sort of felt a little bit for this. I was like, well, maybe it could be racist over there, and that's just whatever. Wasn't that bad, but it's sad. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Why did everybody? And I'm not gonna say everybody, because I don't even think Candace Owens or anything like jumped into it. I was like, okay, I see this. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm not gonna overreact to anything. But I'm just gonna see what happens, right? And what happens, it turns out to be the same thing that Jussie Smollett did. Same thing that happened to him, which is that everyone jumped to a conclusion super quick without really realizing it, and bam, now we have all of this embarrassing stuff happening. So the reason why it's being compared is that the fact is that nearly a lot of people, at least me, jumped to the conclusion that America has all this racism in it, and that they called them, and that it was racist, and that NASCAR went so far as to not only ban the Confederate flag and do all this other, but it just capitulated and was like, oh yeah, it's all, hey, racism everywhere. And it was I think sad. I think it was sad, and I think it was disappointing.
It's more than a business.
And it's
a relationship.
And it took all of
we
this.
We feel the same way.
To
Local
happen.
Solutions is your personal partner for all of your integrated.
I think it was sad. I think it was sad, which at all the stuff that happened. So that's my issue with it, is that people have this idea that American is racist, so every time something might happen, it's racism. And it's sad, and I think that we need to stop falling for it. Let's stop falling for it. And then to say, you know, oh, I can't breathe, Black Lives Matter. You know, then they put all of this other stuff into it, which is annoying and infuriating, and is just illogical and stupid. I mean, why does all of that matter? Hey man, hey, that's amazing. I see you. So if you're just not joining us, just talking about this whole situation with Bubba, and how it's very similar to all of the stuff that happened with Jussie, you know, Smollett. Whenever a business gets political, I stop spending my money with them. Yeah, and I mean, this was the same guy who then went out and, you know, and then got the whole all of that, all of the sponsors and all of the, you know, it was just sad, and it was all based on something that is just, he wasn't lying, but it's like, come on, man, like, look into this kind of stuff before you go all crazy out there with it. And that's what's sad about it. And so we're never gonna move past racism if everybody just assumes that in the first go. I mean, we're never gonna move past it. And it's sad that we promote this kinds of thing. Hey, 999 Pope trainer guy, you know, hi, I see you too. But that's the sad thing about it, is that people then took this, they then went with the whole Black Lives Matter narrative, and I mean, and then one of the reasons why, man, you can't breathe is because you got a mask on. I mean, there's like no other person near you. Why are you doing it? But I think it's sad, and we can't. How are we gonna go forward as a society if we keep doing stuff like this? How are we going to go forward as a society if we keep assuming the worst of people? And they held a moment of silence. I mean, so it's like I think the next time I'm just going to just, like I did, kind of just wait and not do anything before the investigation come out. And they had 15 people investigating it, like 15 investigators. I mean, that's quite a lot of people. You know, because like, hey, yeah, if it is one, then, you know, I guess, you know, that is bad. So you guys, if you are new here anywhere on YouTube, subscribe at Neo Adventist. Twitch, subscribe to Eyes of Reason, hit that follow button. Facebook, you guys don't need to do that. You guys are already my friends, so you know, so that happens. You could click the follow thing if you want to share the stream. If I'm making sense, I think I'm making sense. I mean, don't jump to conclusions until you got all the data. You know, especially if it's about something concerning systematic racism. And I think one of the problems in the black community is that we just love to just jump the gun, and you know, and then we have scenes like this happen, and it's you know, and what gets me too is that I don't like it when people just focus on people's skin color like that, like, oh yeah, let's go, you know, let's support and blah blah blah. I mean, come on, we're living in 2020 here. I mean, we can't move on past this. I mean, yeah, there are racist people, but where are they? I mean, they're few and far between. They don't run the government, and they don't run things, and some of them maybe run things. But if there's a thing out there, if there's a law out there, let's change it. Let's overturn it. You know, let's get it to be different. Okay, so look at what Antonio says. He says, "No, you're not making sense. Your title of this video is literally fake news." So the title of this video is Not a Noose, Bubba. Yeah, his name is Bubba. So, and yeah, when we talk about a noose, we're talking about something just like Jussie Smollett said. A noose is something that you use to hang a person on, aka as a lynching, and that's the idea of which I'm going with it. Like if you just go, I mean, let's look at some things here, because I think it's very important for us to do some definitions. So racist hate for Bubba Wallace was inevitable. So let's go see. Now NASCAR must stand with him. Okay, I think NASCAR definitely did this the thing. Do they use the word noose? To place a noose in the garage star of Bubba Wallace, the man who had nudged. I hate all these little ads. Okay, yeah. Heritage, hate, not heritage. Okay, pure hate. What else could prompt a person or multiple people to place a noose in the garage stall of Bubba Wallace, the man who had blah blah blah, for such a racist? Okay. When we talk about nooses, right? What are we talking about here? We're talking about things that are racist for people. That's what we're talking about. So that's the problem that I have with all of this, is that people saw the news and they immediately went to racism, and I think that is sad, and I think that is sad, right? So let's say, they literally said that the rope fashioned as a rope was there since October 2009. Exactly, the thing was already there before, but someone came in, saw it, and what did they assume? They assumed that because it was a rope fashioned as looking like a noose or whatever, and that's what the media went along with it. And because of things like white guilt and all the rest of it, they went to say that racist. They just immediately went there, and that was the thing. So what is the lesson? The lesson is not to trust the media, guys. Don't trust the media, especially the media with an agenda, because their agenda is simple. They want to tear this country apart. They want to divide it, and they want to make it seem like that there is racism, and that there is xenophobia, and that there's that there's systematic racism and all this stuff everywhere. And it's sad, and it's something that we shouldn't be doing as a society. We shouldn't be falling for it. The thing with NASCAR is that it gets very competitive on the track. I foresee other drivers taking it easy out of fear of backlash. Okay, man, that's amazing. I'm not understanding a little bit of what you're saying. I probably saw this a lot late. But we can't be living our lives like this, man. I don't live my life like that. I don't live my life looking at racism under every nook and cranny, under every door, under every cabinet, in every single sense of the word. I mean, I just don't, and it's sad that people still do that, and how people associate the Confederacy with all of this. And associate with all this racism and bigotry and trying to intimidate Wallace. It's like, what really? Like, where? I don't get it. I don't get it at all, and I don't see how people doing this. So, there's no people to eliminate from the sport. There's no place for racism in NASCAR. And its act only strengthens our resolve to make the sport open and welcoming for all, NASCAR said in this statement. So that's the thing, guys. It's like people are jumping to conclusions, overreacting, and just overreacting to a type of racism that just doesn't exist in our society today. And that, guys, is sad. It's sad and it's disturbing, and it's something that is going to drive our culture apart. It's going to drive our people apart, and it might cause a very, very bad, I don't want to say civil war, but we might have another civil war, because it's like the cultures are dividing, not just between, urban and rural, but between white and black, and between conservative and liberal, mostly between conservative and liberal. And these liberals have this idea of systematic racism, implicit bias, all of these Marxist concepts that are driving people apart. I mean, Candace Owens just got kicked off of a podcast for suggesting that a man cannot have a baby. I mean, it's just stupid. It's just, I don't know where we're going with our society when you can't be able to speak truths anymore. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't get it, and I'm trying to talk to many people as possible in order to elucidate just a little bit of what is going on here. And I think it's sad. I think that somebody who puts, like this thing that says, Black Lives Matter, I think that is not only divisive, but it is setting people up against each other, and it's really, really sad. It's not biblical. It is crazy, and it needs to stop. It just needs to stop. So what do you guys think? Write it in the comments below. Paste it in the little text chat, and that's basically all I wanted to say today. Is that we got to do better than this. We got to do better than this. We've got to stop assuming things about people and situations and cultures and sports and all of this. I mean, there's only one black guy in NASCAR. Why? Not because of systematic racism, right? Because now all of the attention is going to this guy, right? Not because of systematic racism, because of other stuff. Maybe black people don't like to drive cars around fast around the track like that. We got similar situations in cycling, which I'm a part of. I mean, is not because of racism or anything like that, but it's because of the choices that people make, and people and groups make different choices. Hey Thrasher, yeah, Tiger Woods in golf, right? Dominated it, but he only dominated because of racism. I thought you knew that, right? Don't forget to hit that follow, like, subscribe button, Thrasher. That'd be cool. And if you have already, I am sorry about that. But it's just sad. I just think this situation is sad and stupid, and we need to move on. We need to move on as a people and as a society. Oh, look at this. In some ways, I really wish it was real, but the truth of irony shows itself again. So explain that a little bit. What do you wish that was real? That there was an actual Noose place there? By that? I mean, because there's a lot of people who want to say that America is full of racism. There's a lot of people who want to say that, and I think the media really wants that to happen. And I think that everybody looked at the Jussie Smollett situation along with the same hope. It was like, yes, we finally got it. We finally got an instance of racism today, clear cut. Here it is. All you Trump people are also racist. Here it is. There it is. Racism. We got it. We finally got it. Right? and then to be severely disappointed when we find out that that is just not the case, right? so yeah, there are people who definitely wanted there to be racism, so that we could actually point it out and maybe to stop it. I think that's his idea there, but it's just a little bit sad at how the world is and how people are making it out to be. And yeah, maybe one day we'll see a true example of racism, right? Maybe one day against one of these celebrities or things or people like that. But I haven't seen any data for that yet, and it's just sad at how people want that to be true. I don't want that to be true. I don't. Maybe that's why I don't see racism, because I don't want it to be true. Maybe that could be the case also. And you guys on YouTube are quiet, so that's just how that gonna work. But people want to find racism everywhere. That's just how I think a lot of African Americans are, and that might be a racist statement because not all of them. And if you really want to qualify that, go back and look at the previous video I made about black people versus hood people. Okay, it's a different word is used there, but you get the idea. Your explanation is what I meant exactly. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, guys, like, share this video. Get more. I think that the left. The reason why I started making videos is that it's more engaging than audio, I guess. So, yeah, it's just I think we need to really take a look at ourselves and at our society and what we and the implicit biases that we have, which is, hey, NASCAR is racist, right? Okay, all the racist people go there because of all of the I guess Confederate flags or whatever. But then you got a guy like this to just trash. He trashed it. He really made it no one is ever going to believe this type of thing again, and I hope people don't believe this type of thing again until they get some data, until they actually look at it, until people see evidence, right? I mean, and I think we're in a society today where people are willing to make decisions. People are willing to decisions not just about individuals, but about entire systems and societies and governments, right? The American system is actually quite huge. Okay, we got the federal government, and then we got 50 different states, right? All federalism, and then we got these 3 different branches of government also in the federal government, and in the individual local governments. We have thousands of governments here in the United States of America, and yet people want to claim that the whole thing has systematic racism in it. I mean, they wanted to defund the not the LAPD, but the train system that people use, that to secure the trains, right? Entire police departments being, school police departments being updated. I mean, people are taking this to a degree which is unprecedented, which is stupid, and is just, I think it's just sad. And I blame it all on the media. That's who I blame it for. And Trasha says it the best. And how do we get a black president with all of this racism all around here, right? How did that happen? And I don't think people have a good answer to that. I don't know. I can't answer it. But there are people who think that because America is systemically and historically racist, that is irredeemable, and we have to tear down all the systems and all the structures and all these statues that have been up for hundreds of years. I mean, yeah, it's stupid. It's just I don't understand it. Okay, I think everybody has asked their questions so far. I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Oh, okay. Hey, Jordan, what's happening? I'm from UK. Can you update me, please? Yes, Jordan, I can update you. And maybe I should start to do this stuff. Also, Jordan. So basically, what happened is that there was this guy. His name's right here, up there or whatever. His name is Bubba Wallace. He came out with he's the only black NASCAR, and NASCAR is this thing where you drive around in these cars around the track. He's the only black NASCAR driver, and he basically came out and got the Confederate flag banned from the from the racetrack where people are showing it on there. And what happened to him was that somebody came into his garage where he keeps the cars and all this kind of stuff, and they didn't take anything or steal anything or do anything like that, but they just simply laid a noose, quote unquote. This was the story. They laid a noose on the guys in the guy's garage, and somebody else came and saw it, and then they said that it is because of, and then so there was this big outcry. People said that it was racist, that NASCAR is racist and has like a Confederate flag type of deal, which is racist. So it just felt, NASCAR basically failed to fight racism, and it was the worst thing ever. And it's like, hey, it's sad and all of this kinds of stuff. And then there was this news, and that it was just bad. And NASCAR addressed it by getting around Bubba and pushing his car as a sign of solidarity. And then the situation is that then NASCAR came out with a tweet. How you spell Twitter? TWITTER, right? And look at what, and so they did this whole investigation. So if you do NASCAR, and you go and we look, and then they came out with this statement. Okay, the presence of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events runs contrary to blah blah blah. Right. So then they banned the Confederate flag there, and then they did the investigation. The FBI did it. And that Bubba Wallace was not the target of a hate crime. The FBI report concludes that the garage door pull rope, fashioned like a noose, had been positioned there since as early as last fall, right? So it's like, bam, like, no, this is not a sign. Same exact thing when it came to Jussie Smollett, right, or Jussie Smollett, or however you pronounce his name. They said that two MAGA guys. That two white guys came and put a noose again around his neck, and that the noose was, that they had basically did a hate crime again. And the media and everybody coalesced around this guy because this was an example of how not only white people are racist, but how MAGA people are racist, or people who support Donald Trump. All this racist. So, long story short, that's basically what happened, Jordan. And it's sad because it turns out it didn't happen at all. That it was not a. It was not. That was the thing. So Jordan, people thought that there was a hate crime against the only black driver in NASCAR because he got the Confederate flag removed or sort of banned. And yep, I hate Trump. Yes. Okay. So that's the thing. And so people discovered that the FBI discovered today that, hey, this quote unquote noose, or this a pull rope, has been there, and that's the problem. The problem is that people just overreacted to this and was sad. So that's what happened. I hope I described it just a little bit, and it's basically the same thing that happened. In the UK, Trump is weak. Okay, I don't know anything about that, but I like Trump and I'm a big fan. Was it Bubba pushing a false narrative? It wasn't. I guess it wasn't Bubba doing it. It was everybody else assuming, and of course he went along with it too. You know, Bubba went along with it because it was like, hey, look, it's all of that. So it's just sad, and it's really sad what happens when people decide that they want to look at a person's skin color and then look at that as a sort of narrative about the United States, which is not a racist country, or not a systematically racist country. Are there racist people in the United States? Yeah, sure, but I believe that the United States is the least racist country in the entire world. So if you want to know why I support Trump, man, and all this other stuff, subscribe to the my channel on Twitch. Is Eyes of Reason, eyesofreason.com, or at Neo Adventist on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube and other places. Oh yeah, they never even released a picture of this rope. I guess I don't know why. But this is going down. Yeah, I hope that as Americans especially, we never jump to these types of conclusions ever again. And I'm gonna be the first one to say next time when something like this happens that it's probably fake. I mean, I think this was a hate crime committed against NASCAR because it just put all of these people in a very, very, very bad light, and the narrative was false. And I don't think Bubba pushed it necessarily, but he definitely did seem to me to want to be going along with it. I mean, just look at the scenes. I mean, it's just, I think it's sad. And yeah, I mean, it was a pull rope. So that's the kind of world we live in, and I'll update you guys about stuff later on. Have a great a day and time. I'm gonna try to get more consistent videos, a schedule to go out. I've been working on like lights and all kinds of different things to make it better for you guys. But like, share, subscribe. We got to start taking America back, guys, and I think we're going to have to do it by talking about these kinds of things, and by going through and not being afraid to speak out. Not be afraid to speak out amidst all the people who might defriend us, or all this kind of stuff, or whatever. We gotta talk about this because it looked a little. It didn't look fishy to me a little bit. I was like, a Noose, okay. Right? I didn't ask about, well, did they steal anything or any other kind of stuff, which I should have. I guess I felt a little bit into that. But what's important, guys, is that we have got to see injustice and untruth and stupid articles, like this, and we got to push back against it. When people want to take away the Confederate flag and write all these kind of articles and stuff, we gotta try to push back against these things, man, because it's people. I think people out there are really trying to sabotage the culture, and I think the Black Lives Matter thing is the worst example of it. So Yeah. Okay, so if you want to see some more of my content or any of that kind of stuff, like, share, subscribe to this place, click the follow button, all that kind of stuff, and I will see you later.